Hey guys, before we get to the episode, I'd like to announce the winner of our signature and custom card giveaway. We only received one entry in, so we're going to send out all the prizing, plus a little few extras, to Graham from Maidstone, England, at the Maidstone Pokemon shop out there. He had the group starting to play some raw deal using various starters. The Rock, Mankind, see a Hulk Hogan. But yeah, it was a nice gathering of people. So going to send out something. So hopefully everyone there that's interested in the game is able to get some prizing, get some new cards, that kind of thing. So congratulations, Graham. We'll be in touch, and now we'll get on to the show.
Welcome, everyone, to Backlash Podcast. We are at episode 11, and we are a podcast that focuses on raw deal discussions about, you guessed it,
Raw deal.
Alright, so we are going to talk about our winner. You already recorded a winner.
The winner is, if you're listening to this, you already know who the winners are.
We're still getting this post-production thing in order, and what happened. Yeah.
And actually, I want to do something about the editing where I switched over to a new video editing program. That's why there's no card show up for episode 10 on the episode where we list cards.
Yeah.
I'm getting used to Sony Vegas. It's not letting me input the sizes where Adobe, I don't even remember what it's called, where I could just punch it all in. So I had a notebook and be like, I want this to be this size. I do it for everyone. So for Sony Vegas is just manually do it.
Gotcha. I just good thing I brought my card list with me and we had those little images. So if you were watching the YouTube, you weren't lost. So what's going on around the web with raw deal this past week or two?
So the big thing I've noticed, you've noticed, I'm sure a lot of people have noticed, that there are a lot of new or returning players on Team Canada, on Facebook, on Discord, that are, interested in the game. So I just want to, say to the experienced players, not that I've seen any of negativity, but, just be helpful and supportive for these people. This is what brings attention to the game and helps possibly bring the game back, is just anyone that, every one new player can bring in another two players, and that. On episode 10, on the comments, actually, on Friday, someone posted that they're trying, they want to try it with their Pokemon game nights. And they're going to print off some starter decks that you could find on the Backlash Pod Pro boards. That's backlashpod.proboards.com. But that's the idea with posting that there, is to make the game accessible, because you can't find product. Not everyone wants to use eBay to get sealed starter decks or any of the other online retailers. So it's a good way to, $4 and you're printing off a full deck. And you're getting an elbow to the face that says no chance in hell.
Yeah. And I also noticed just before going on tonight that there was one guy saying on the Discord channel that he's likely to not ever print off physical cards just because there's no one in his area that plays, that he knows of. Right? Mm-hmm. So he can download Lackey, play with all the TCO guys, and join the tournaments there eventually and stuff like that. And I've got Lackey on my laptop. I have not figured out how to work it. I have the program downloaded. I have some sort of patch. I can see Empla, the first card that shows up in the database. Else no specific reversal is there, but there are some cards that don't have images and some that do, and it confuses me. And I'm not a tech guy. I'm the edge of the tech bubble. We made it through high school without cell phones, and
back in our
I'm
day.
just not a tech guy. I'm not a tech guy.
No, but it's so cool where this game hasn't been produced longer than it was around.
Yeah.
And we're getting
and
new
we're
players
still
in.
Going.
And
it's pretty funny when you see returning players posting their deck list saying here's a deck that I had built 10 years ago, is it still viable? And we're yeah, not really. There's some pretty bad cards in there, but we offer help and support and say, hey, these are the awesome virtual cards you want to look at, and give some guidance from there. But I always find it funny when people bring out these old decks and cards you haven't seen in so long because we've just stopped running them in our everyday decks. And someone posted a photo that you commented on recently.
Oh.
It was like Macho Man. Someone was playing a classic deck.
Oh, Macho Man Billy and Chuck.
Yeah. It was a classic deck versus a virtual deck that was posted on a Facebook page, and it was like, oh yeah, throwback, definitely.
But I mean, like with any game, you can use any modified rules or play it however you want to play it. If you enjoy it, who cares?
Yeah. And that's really the great part about the game is that, yes, there's that huge all-access card pool, but if you only like Revo, only play Revo. If you only want to play Classic, only play Classic. And there's enough players doing a little bit of all three that you can find someone to play with. So.
Yeah, if you're just playing at your kitchen table and you want a revolution of the mind to reverse any non-trademark finish or maneuver, go ahead and play it. If you want to run, 9 different shoulder blocks in your deck.
You mentioned shoulder block because that's kind of the theme of our show is gimmick decks. And one of the gimmick decks ran a couple shoulder blocks in it.
Well, the idea with this is, today, just with everything that's been going on, we haven't really discussed what the show episode was going to be about. But I've built Gallows and Anderson. Before we do all this, what have you been playing lately? What decks have you been doing?
I built a Sin Cara deck recently, and his one pre-match card is really good where it can reduce his opponent's hand size if he goes over playing 6 slots. So I played that against a few people, and it's thrown them off because they're like, oh, I play all 12 of my pre-match, now I have a -3 hand size, or you get a +3 or 6 hand in there. It's like, So that's a pretty neat card that he has, and still working on Devil's Favorite Demon. I have Fandango built. Wyatt's I've been just tinkering around with a few cards in and out, put in their new virtual stuff finally, so yeah, I think that's pretty well all I've been doing.
I've Gallows and Anderson together. I haven't been able to play it yet, and I already want to change it. I took out that Here Comes the Cavalry, so I'm going to open a spot. But I've been working on Xavier Woods. I don't know why I didn't earlier, because, he's expressed his enjoyment of the game. And that brings us to our, gimmick decks, fun decks, because I want to build him using cards with up or down in the title to represent up, up, down, down in the series. So that's been a lot of fun because this throws us back to the old Up and Adam Devon deck.
Yeah. What are some other up and down cards? Lay the Smackdown. Really anything with Smackdown in the
title. Smackdown, diving takedown, anything with takedown in the title. So you get the 14 for 3 hybrid takedown that reverses a non-unique action. But it's the ups that are tough. I don't have the list in front of me, unfortunately. It's on my desktop.
Up and Adam, turn up the heat.
Turn up the heat. Business about to pick up that I can search for. You know what? What was it? What's a gimmick deck you've built? That you remember?
Probably the most memorable one for me was my Back to Basics RVD deck, and it was back a while ago. I know it was before virtual cards were around, and the idea was to play the 3 old school beatings to make your moves +3 damage, and the only move that I really ran the deck was Dude Whatever. I just played Back to Basics so that I wouldn't get locked in Hell in a Cell, so I could continually play Dude Whatever and recover and do all that fun stuff. So I was like, Mr. Monday Night, Dude Whatever, and a few of his specifics so you could still pitch one to play the other, and it was really fun. I won a few decks, and you're just playing that 3 damage maneuver over and over. I think I ran a Pure 6 Brawl in it to make it do 5 damage. And you just keep playing that, and if you spun it as a reversal, you shuffled it in, and it was really good. It was fun. That was probably my most fun gimmick deck. What else have I done? I've tinkered with the idea of Tori Wilson Raw, but I've never done it because her pre-match card that lets you look at your opponent's hand the whole game is like the best card in the game. I don't know. My personal favorite cards in the game are ones that let me look at my opponent's hand and have a little bit of knowledge. So,
speaking of like brand switching, my first tournament win was with a SmackDown Goldberg deck.
Yeah, I remember that.
Premier SmackDown, card being this original. You get that jackknife and spear, and with I think Banned from Ringside was out then, so I mean, you're going to keep
Yeah.
throwing those. You don't need all your reversals because of his ability.
Yeah, you had a 15-card hand size.
It was-
Road to Victory. And,
It was absolutely disgusting
yeah.
for its time.
Yeah. And SmackDown Ric Flair was another one that was almost a no-brainer. His Raw cards weren't that great. He had the Space Mountain that made your opponent overturn or remove the top 4. But
That was running around Toronto pretty rampantly.
yeah, you just SmackDown, build up the hand, throw the diving takedowns, Iron Wills, Diamonds Are Forever, and just cycle forever and ever and ever.
Because that 4-card hand size becomes at least an 8. Like, he's set for the game.
Yeah,
at
and
that
his
point.
ability was just really good
Mhm.
back then, right? Pitching one single card to remove anything from ring area. So.
What else here? Oh, my favorite, and only won a game once, was Lock, Stock, and Barrel Randy Orton.
I
So-
definitely remember that deck.
So Lock, Stock, and Barrel is a 16 for 10 strike. Is it a multi?
Yeah, it's a multi.
If you have Irish Whip, oh no, Springboard,
And Gut Wrench.
Gut Wrench, oh, I can't remember now.
Like 3 setups.
3 setups that he's searching for,
Yeah.
but the only maneuvers the deck ran were 3 Lock, Stock, and Barrels.
Yeah.
So the objective was to, like, Vince Interferes or get, like, the non-hybrid reversals in play to build up your fortitude. Your ego boosting into the setups.
Yeah, you had WWE The Power Is Back. I remember that card. Made all your cards -5. Listen loud and clear.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it's
okay.
-7. Like, I remember this deck like it was yesterday. I remember like sitting on the floor of my bedroom when I was still living at home and you're like explaining all these awesome cards. I was like, dude, only 3 moves and you're gonna win.
And it won a game.
Yeah.
I don't remember who I beat, but I did it. Throw in the corner turnbuckle, Irish Whip, and Springboard.
Okay. Speaking of a gimmick, I guess another gimmick deck was I ran May and Moolah as a Tornado Tank deck once. So 0 hand size, 0 superstar value. And it actually beat a deck once. Cam, it beat you. I'm mentioning you again every podcast you come up. He was playing, like, I think Lita and Jeff Tornado Tag. He was playing Bash. And I played them It's All About the Game because they didn't lose their hand size. And so he couldn't get that initial 3 fortitude. And he was running the, like, throwback drop kicks, the 8 for 8s.
Mm.
That are minus. That
Those
were
standing drop
usually
kick.
-5.
Yeah.
So he'd have the 3 fortitude, but he didn't even have that. So he just couldn't get fortitude.
You didn't
the
run
whole
the
game.
other drop kicks?
No.
Oh, that's
Because he didn't
bad.
need to. He had the 3 fortitude. And
No,
he
he
got
didn't.
Freight line, not that game.
Another deck, actually, that he ran before, because we asked our group chat, and it's like his finger poke of doom throwback Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
And I actually beat him at an event in the last few years with Hall and Nash. Because his one pump kick, he overturned off of a pre-match effect. So he couldn't search for it.
Yeah.
He was stuck in his ringside pile. And I was able to reverse, like, his poke because I was running step escapes.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was just power bombs and slams.
Yeah, basically the deck ran like the premier WWF superstar way back in the day. Like the bulk up your superstar value and make you spin 20, 30 cards and then like search for pump kick, poke, go for the cover.
Yeah.
And then just like poke, go for the cover. And it would do like, you wouldn't have cards left after that, right? Like you had to spin a bunch of reversals.
But the thing with that, it was such a functional deck.
Yeah.
Like, it was nasty to play against when you weren't prepared or didn't have the answers for
Yeah.
it. But it's a fun theme. It brings the wrestling back into like the wrestling card game.
Yeah.
It was same with the real to life John Cena deck.
Yeah, with all the shoulder blocks.
Shoulder blocks, his specifics.
The spinner belt.
Mhm.
I
I think it was a short-lived deck.
It was, yeah. It was right when Revolution came out. Because I remember we played at like a gamer's lair in the south end upstairs. Again, like so many raw deal memories.
Oh.
They're all in there. Probably, what was the, like, I think Devon Up and Adam was like the original gimmick deck.
Yeah, like
when
that.
first came out.
I remember that being like a discussion point online as well, where it was someone made a joke where it's like, I'm going to build Devon with like 60 up and Adams.
Yeah, and then they're like, that's not viable, let's actually try and do it. I think it was Matty that did that. Like,
That
he
wouldn't
tried to do it,
surprise
and
me.
he's like, okay, you run like 50 up and Adams, and a couple doing the Devons, 3 Revos, like his Testify, and that was probably good enough. And it was like, oh my.
And then like on the reverse of that, like slingshot into the ring post Gold Dust, but it's not really gimmicky. It's just really nasty.
Or any Premier Raw.
But yeah, you pump them Premier Raw.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, discard 2 for every 0 for 2 I'm throwing.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they did it. I can't remember who probably can, because he was the only one that played Gold Dust. But what I would do is I would do 2 pick your spots and name like
0.
submission to make them 0. So just discard and work around that.
Yeah, I think I did something along those lines with like Spike Dudley once, and I forget what it was. I think I did something with like not in front of the kids and pick your spots and do like wheelbarrow slams and side headlocks that can only be reversed from hand, and I would like initially do 0 from like the not in front of your kids, but then I'd like try and pitch because I'd always have a big hand to like make it do 20 damage all at once. But I don't really remember that deck.
And bringing up Spike, yeah, I remember the Dudley family, the virtual one, where my objective was to like dirty low blow through like table through the ring. I ended up doing I have a YouTube video of it.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
it was one of the very
50
first-
damage atomic driver.
Yeah. One of the very first videos.
Yeah. Well, that's going back like 2.5 years now.
Almost, yeah. There was one other that I was thinking of when you mentioned it. I guess just like Taz, when he came out with like gonna put you through the ring and the irreversible Taz flexes, and there's one other card of that combo I think that I don't remember. It made grapples do a lot of damage and it was irreversible. And
But, I mean, looking at all this, and it brings the fun back to Raw Deal, where, like, you look at a lot of decks, you have superstars that are running maneuvers that you wouldn't generally see them doing in the ring, and it's just, like, I really want to build this Xavier Woods deck more than preparing for June, for the Illinois tournament, where it's like, yeah, I want to, like, have some fun with this.
build some up, down for some, like, drunken Raw Deal the night before or something.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have gimmick decks, eh? I got the A-bomb up in Canada, eh?
We're bringing that championship back up north there, eh? For our Tim Hortons and our Timbits. We're working out the dogs so we can bring our dog sled down.
There won't be snow in June, so we'll have to work out something.
Once you get to the border, the snow disappears. That's fun. I mean, I like to hear what other people have for gimmick decks. So share it wherever it's shareable.
We had a few inappropriate Austin and Benoit decks. We're not going to touch base on them, but they were mentioned. Yeah. So yeah, share your gimmick decks on our YouTube page below, and
especially like virtual, because I'd like to see what ideas, because you think of a lot of superstars, but everything's been focused on like current meta. What's the current meta? Like, I haven't looked back at all these superstars and be like, okay, how can you have fun with some of these? Like, I can't even think offhand where it's like, you know, like you run Jeff Jarrett with all slaps. The whole slap nuts.
Yeah, slap nuts.
Slap into dirty low blows.
Alrighty, so on to our versus segment of the show where we compare 2 cards and just talk about the pros and cons of each one. This one, we're doing Banned from Ringside and Banned from Ringside Throwback. Usually we do cards that have similar texts or things like Leg Drag, Black Slide, but these I think are different enough that they are quite unique in their own. The original, most people know, it's a SmackDown card that's unique. Your opponent's hand size is -1. When this card's in your ring area and your opponent reverses an action or a maneuver from his hand, you can put the reverse card on the bottom of your arsenal instead of in your ring side. Whereas the Throwback got a little more text, but it almost does the same thing, but better, but also does other things, right? Your mid-match capacity is +1. As an ace, when your maneuver is unsuccessfully played, you may discard a card and then put it on the bottom of your arsenal regardless of other effects, and that effect cannot be reversed. As a second ace, during a turn you can put this card into your ring side, and then put 1 non-superstar specific corner manager or guest ring announcer from your opponent's ring into his ring side. and it does other stuff when it's a corner. We're not really going to touch base on that because we don't play with
No.
corners. But if you are playing in All Access, I imagine that's a must-pack to stop corner cards. The thing I like about the throwback banned from Ringside is that your maneuver, regardless of where it is reversed from, if it's unsuccessful, it goes on. You can put it on the bottom.
I didn't even notice that.
Right? So banned, you only get it if your opponent reverses from hand. This gets it if they reverse from with Jimmy from ring area, headstrong from ringside, or a backlash reversal.
Even ability.
Or ability.
Yeah,
right?
holy cow.
So if your deck is built around something that's search and destroy and you really need that move to always be in your arsenal so you can get an next turn and play it, the throwback wins hands down at a cost of 1 card from your hand per turn that can't be reversed.
Well, that and nothing's getting removed from the game.
Yeah.
I can't think what removes from game.
Gotta stay out of play.
Chain heat.
Some specifics, yeah.
Yeah.
Chain heat's a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
Now that
cow.
only hits maneuvers, whereas the original, you get actions and maneuvers. So the original, great in Tori Wilson, Trish, that throw lots of actions. per
Goldberg.
turn. I think a lot of people packed banned from ringside because of the SmackDown logo. I know in our area, like if you're running Premier SmackDown, banned is pretty well the next card to go in because it makes your opponent's hand size 1, yours is +1 for drawing for the SmackDown logo. And I mean, that's just a perk. You get to put everything that's reversed on the bottom of your deck, even if your deck isn't a search and destroy thing. Like,
Yeah.
end of the game, you're putting 4, 5, or 6 extra cards on the bottom of your deck. That's going to help in the long run.
Well, it's good for tossing hybrid maneuver reversals as maneuvers.
Yeah.
Because then you're finding those reversals into your arsenal
That's
in
true.
case you have to spin them.
Mm-hmm.
Although if you already have it in hand, why would you play it? I don't know. It's just an idea.
It's just a thought. You could be, maybe you have 2 in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, put a card back in.
Oh, or like you're playing a mind game.
Yeah.
I'll toss this. Oh, you don't have it in hand. Huh, fooled you.
Happens
Here's my
all the
Indian
time,
Deathlock. Also, the second ace on this, I haven't really read much into this card because it's like, virtual.
It's pretty new. I think it's pretty new. Like, it was a Gen Con promo, and then they printed it in V8.
I think it was 7.
Oh, okay. I'm crazy. What is? It's pretty new.
Where you're getting rid of a non-specific manager or guest ringside announcer. Manager gets rid of Jimmy.
Yeah.
I don't know what other managers.
I think, like, if your opponent plays a manager, like, yeah. This card is needed because there's so many. Managed by Lita, draw for successful volleys, the Shane O'Mac throwback where they're searching for uniques. Like, if your opponent's running a non-superstar specific manager, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're packing banned, yeah, drop that to get rid
Well,
of
and
it.
same with the guest ringside announcer, like that CM Punk one that reduces actions by 1.
Yeah.
The Zack Ryder, Candice Michelle, like there are a lot of Vince
Vince
old
GRA,
Vince
yeah.
GRA. Hey, no. get
Even
rid
the
of-
new Vince GRA where you have to overturn 2 cards to play an action, like that's pretty nasty
Yeah.
against action decks.
Oh, Dave's Extreme Diva deck with that and her
Yeah,
ability. Oh.
just a nasty deck. Yeah, it's like play anything. I'll just sit here, and you have to overturn 2 or 3 cards. And
And the min match is a nice little touch too, so you're going to be able to play 7 total.
and then on top of all that, it's permanent and RMS, so it's not going anywhere.
And it's not SmackDown.
Yeah,
So you get to run it in Bash.
and Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good. I mean, they both offer very good things. It just depends on how you're constructing your deck to use it.
I might add that to my Bash deck.
Like I'm looking at it now where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, like this.
Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because virtual, like, some cards, like, we basically got up to V7, and then what happened? A holiday set came out or something, and
Yeah.
all our attention almost skipped V7 and went right to the holiday set.
Mhm.
And, like, V7's like a mystery set for us.
The real superstar that stands out for that I saw played was Cesaro, and that was like one event.
Well, there was a Cesaro, I think, was Paige in V7? But, like, no shields, no really Wyatts yet. You were working on a Bray at one point. But
Yeah, I played
Yeah.
a game with it, wasn't happy.
I think we've talked about that in the past, but whatever. There's something else I was going to bring up. Oh, yeah, I was playing a game today, and after the game, we're, like, analyzing the pre-match, and I was thinking, I might put in this card, and it was the one with Jeff Hardy on the picture, cashing
checks your mouth can't cash.
Yeah, or whatever. The body cashing body whatever the card's called. Everyone knows what it is.
The algebra card.
Cashing checks your body can't cash. Yeah. The algebra.
Mouths writing checks, bodies can't cash.
That's the card. And I was like, this is what it does. And she was like, no, I don't think that's what it does. So he recently printed it off, and that was one of those cards that I printed 5 years ago. I've never run it before, and so I didn't print the new updated card. So I was like, I'll never run this card. And it got totally redone, and he's like, this is what it does now. I'm like, oh, it's much weaker than the original. Still a very good card.
During your turn, when you have no cards under this card, you may put one maneuver from your ringside face up under this card, and then shuffle the number of cards from your ringside into your arsenal, where number is equal to the damage of the maneuver and cannot be greater than 12. You cannot reverse this effect.
The old card didn't have a cap of 12.
Oh.
So you could do 22 damage from the precision haymaker. You could shuffle in 22 cards, irreversible.
Why wouldn't I run this card?
It is really good. Because it's confusing. Because when you first read it, you almost think you need an algebraic calculator.
So it's a
free card to shuffle any number. Well, now it's 12.
That's gross.
Free 12
you can't stop me from shuffling this 12.
Yes, now continue reading because there's a little bit of a drawback.
Okay, so before the draw segment of each of your turns, when you have fewer cards under this card, then the printed damage of the face-up card plus 4.
So if you did Atomic Driver, if you have less than 16, because Atomic Driver is 12...
Put the top card of your arsenal and one random card from your ringside face down under this card.
So the ringside pile, not a big drawback, because you shuffled in all the good cards, but you do lose the top card from... So it's like a mini WrestleMania.
If you did not, put the top 2 cards of your arsenal face down under this card.
Right. So for a couple turns, you get one from ringside, one from arsenal, and then it starts catching up to you from arsenal. But the original, again, didn't have a damage cap. Could be packed with WrestleMania. I think this new one says first line says cannot be packed with WrestleMania. And the old version, you could put 2 cards from ringside under, and you didn't have to do anything with your arsenal for a while. So I was like,
So are you familiar with the WCW cards? Because there's an effect when you put a card under a card. Or there's got to be someone with that.
One of the big boys.
I gotta look into that now. There's no up or down in this though, so.
Yeah.
No, that's really neat. Because even then, it's like, I'll put this...
It's a last minute thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, maybe it's not, I don't know. But I think it's one of those things that, it can be a huge swing if you're shuffling in 12 cards.
But you're also not resetting the game like WrestleMania does.
Right.
You're keeping hand sizes there. It doesn't, and it's an irreversible, so it's like, okay, I need 2 turns to win this out.
Right? Like, too desperate. I got him on a lock, or I have him on a stratosphere lock or something, right? 2 more turns. It's good. So, that's a card that I've been looking at.
I'm going to look into that card. That's what I like about this. I'm learning some things about this game.
And then, where was it? We were on TCO, and someone was asking, like, what are the must-pack pre-match cards? And someone commented, I think it was Big Pimpin', the only must-pack, non-specific pre-match cards to me are Making Your Escape and My Game, My Way, which can also be packed as a mid-match. He says, if I'm serious about winning games, both of those cards in my deck, because they'll save your tail end from random stuff. So I think that's so true. Making Your Escape is such a powerful card that our play area hasn't really used. And again, because we're not always playing in the competitive scene, but there's no escape recently. There's been Drawing Blanks, that doesn't get around Making Your Escape, but there's been volley decks. Making Your Escape gets around the volleys. There's been Hell in a Cell decks. Making Your Escape gets around that. So, and it also has an effect that can't be reversed, right? It gets around first of all. So I think heading into the competitive tournament scene, Making Your Escape is going to be a card that will see a little bit more play.
What during the game, his first of all is blank until the start of your first turn.
So it stops like a scoop deck.
Yeah.
Or you can drop for the love of the games while he's playing all his belts. You can build up your fortitude.
As an ace, once during each of your turns, you may either overturn 4 cards or remove 1 pre-match card in your ring from the game, and then you are not affected by Hell in a Cell, there's no escape, or first of all.
Until the next.
Yeah, until the start of your next turn. His Man of 1,000 holds his blank, and he is considered to not have played a volley card on his last turn. And he can't reverse the ace.
Yeah. So that's... Volley Lock is becoming a lot more popular because there are a lot of the V8 guys like AJ Styles, Braun Strowman kind of lean towards a volley build, and you get in a volley deck where you're forced to throw a move and they have a nice big pain reversal, right? You can get out of that Volley Lock.
And it's actually a neat ace because there's no discarding involved. Or a lot of activated card effects are like, hey, discard a card from your hand. Like banned from Ringside, like you just looked at.
Exactly, yeah. You just remove a pre-match that's no longer useful or spin 4. And I mean, the spin 4, it's a price to pay, but it's not, right? If you're locked in a cell and you have to overturn 4 cards so that you can recover 12 or play 2 Candaces and recover 24, like, okay, it's well worth it to overturn 4 this one turn. Or to get access to your like must-play specific Backlash deck cards, right? Like an Eddie deck would play Making Your Escape to get around.
Yeah.
First of all, so you could play this Richazo. Like, yeah. First of all, it's definitely a must-pack. Or first of all, Making Your Escape. Again, a card that doesn't see too much play in our group because it's not super competitive, but.
Well, that Bailey deck with. There's no escape. It's kind of nasty.
Yeah.
She keeps picking up the maneuvers and playing them at a reduced cost. And
Not making escape. There's no escape.
No escape.
Is a very good card. It's a
very
good card. I see it getting a little toned down recently, where like you can only play superstar specific, unique maneuvers with it because there's just so much. Every set it gets stronger and stronger as more unique maneuvers are brought out in virtual cards, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's just too
but that was Krillin678 on Team Canada Online that posted the must packs, and a lot of what I've seen is veteran players, Big Pippin, Dilbert, Drywall, they added to that. Mm-hmm. Let's visit the must packs where like No Show, Frankie Takes Hollywood, which I never used to run, but now I do.
Yeah. Because
a lot of effects where your opponent's reversals deal no damage. Where a lot of focus was, I don't want them to cost more. Where now it's like, I want them to hurt.
That won me a game on last Sunday, right? I was playing Great Khali. Khali specific says your opponent's reversals deal no damage. I played Hollywood and did some reversal with Fandango that did 10 damage, and you have to take 10 damage.
Tech in a bottle, so good. It gets you that.
Yeah, that's definitely grown in huge popularity in our play group. I'm interested to start seeing if people, because like, I would say every Tech in a Bottle searches for Quick Snack Body Slam. I could be wrong, but everyone I've seen has done that. So I'm waiting for someone to search for a Tech in a Bottle with a Quick Snack to reverse the Quick Snap that somebody searched for.
Yeah, like I've only seen it used for playing the maneuver.
Yeah.
I want to see Tech in the Bottle that searches for nothing to blank a pre-match card.
See, the thing is it only blanks it for one turn.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Where it blanks a Jimmy.
Yeah.
It blanks. Well, I'm assuming it blanks Jimmy.
Yeah, you put it on top of any pre-match card.
But they're considered to have -3 fortitude, or
-2 fortitude.
Was like, sure, you can stranglehold me, but on top of any pre-match card. So you can put it on top of an Allegiance, a Venue, anything. That band from Ringside.
I think
the old one.
Something a little more potent than that, but maybe like rules are meant to be broken, so you can play actions and stuff like that. But it's neat. There's some neat virtual cards that we haven't fully got into because there's so many and so little time.
Well, in our play area isn't like overly the most competitive. Like it's a lot of unique ideas that don't take like the I don't want to say mainstream meta, but it's like there's like the no escape decks and. Legends. When was the last time you saw it managed by Jimmy Hart being played?
Campact did last week.
When was the last time you saw it in an event?
Before that,
played?
yeah. It's been a while, yeah. But, yeah, and then you have people like Pat who come up with super unique decks.
Oh, yeah.
That are like, what? Throwing first turn Sable Bombs with the Nash Enforcer and Sable.
It's such a cool idea.
And, like, he's one of those guys where, like, Cam will use the ringside as an extra resource, right? Like, it's just a space that's a placeholder. You'll have Thrust Needless, Steel Chain Shots, Camp Arenas, Camp Cheat Novice Man, all these ringside cards. And Pat's just like, I'll remove 4 cards for Kidney Punch, pick up this Kidney Punch, and, like, he's almost like, ringside is basically his remove from game pile, because he'll just do that and cycle cards. And I think he's a big fan of Kidney Punch. And
yeah, that Heidenreich deck that he was playing was pretty nasty. And that was an interesting ruling, too, where with Heidenreich, his Superstar specifics are his Heidenreich Superstar specifics are trademark finishers, but his Kidney Punches are Superstar specific. So that doesn't make them trademark finishers because they're not Heidenreich specifics. Right. And that's all thanks to the Respect the Authority backstage area card that got a ruling. And that just opens up a whole new thing. It's like, okay, this changes a few established things.
I mean, I still think it's a good card because it's a Heidenreich specific, and there's a lot of virtual cards that reverse non-specifics, which is good, so that gets around that. But the fact that he just only has to remove 2 to pick them up, like, they're just going to be swinging every turn. And it's a very good deck. I've looked at it, Heidenreich, a few times.
They're all for 10s.
He's really good, yeah, so it's awesome. Their strikes, not trademarks, unfortunately.
And their volley.
Yeah.
That's the cards of the show.
Cards of the show. Banned from ringside, throwback. And that's the show.
I think
Episode
so.
11, wrap her up there. It was a good time. Good time, folks. Hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about Raw Deal.
Raw Deal. We'll get some games in. We'll talk about the next event. We don't have an event. There's so much going on in March.
We have Barry NXT's coming to Barry.
Yeah, they were in Barry 2 days ago.
2 days ago. It was a good time, I think.
Oh my god, those ringside seats we got were great. But I'm gonna do up a little video or something, post it on my YouTube page, just share the experience.
Mm-hmm. And we're trying to get. You're getting deck reviews posted on your YouTube page. I'm trying to do a few. I just have a really old phone that has no memory, so for me it's about borrow your iPad some night and just shoot the video, but it's just space that's my big issue.
Well, it's just this week for me. It's like, hey, let's do it this evening, and then work catches up, or just other things fall on my lap where it's like, damn, where I want to do a big bulk of it. Then everyone can get their deck lists together and post them simultaneously. Yeah. And
our group's interested in participating, so
we'll
get around to
the
it.
time. I mean, you're about to run out of a little bit more time.
Baby 2 is due in 2 weeks, but that's fun.
But soon you can get your son into Raw Deal.
Yes, he came home and saw Sin Cara was on the table, and he goes, "Oh, Lucha!" And he goes, "Lucha, Lucha, Lucha!" I'm like, oh, it's so cute. Alrighty, folks, that's episode 11. Have a great one. Good night. Good morning. Whatever time you listen to this podcast.